On the air. Are we on the air? Are we on the air yet? On the air with Susan Powter. Hi, this is Susan Powter. I'm so glad you're listening to my live radio shows on eating, breathing, and moving. Wellness, oh, it's so important. I mean, if you ain't got your health, what do you have? This is a wonderful opportunity, you guys. Start a radio library. Yeah, I mean, think about this. You can start your own library so you can refer back to, get the information if you forget it, go back and remind yourself if you need reminding. I know people who are doing it. They love it. They use their radio library so much. So instead of a book library, start your radio library. There's just one thing you got to do. You've got to disregard my 888 number in the show unless you want to call my show between the hours of 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. weekdays, Pacific Standard Time. That's when I do my show, you know, it's live. So if you can call me, then please do. If you want my show in your city, if it's not there yet, call 1-888-999-6421 and ask who to call, then call them and tell them, we want the Susan Powter radio show. In the meantime, you can get the show. All you got to do is start your wellness radio library. Thanks again, guys. Enjoy. What does working within your fitness level mean? Tell me what that means to you. Call me at 1-888-55-SUSAN. That's 1-888-557-8726. And tell me what working within your fitness level means. You want to discuss it? We got to talk fitness. That means, when do you know that you are cardiovascularly within your fitness level? Do you understand how important that is? What difference does it make if you are or you aren't? What does it mean to you burning fat if you are or you aren't? We got to talk. We got to clear this up, because otherwise you may be just running and doing and jogging and biking and hiking, and A, not doing a damn thing, or B, doing damage. So you don't waste your time. We can clear it up today. Working within your fitness level. Let's talk about it. You know, I was wondering this weekend, I wonder if people really want to know. It seems to me that the more people spend time in confusion when it comes to fitness especially, and then they have a reason why it's not happening, a reason why their body genetically just can't seem to burn fat, a reason why it's not working. I've tried it, I've done it, I know it, it's there. Well, if we clear it up, then A, there won't be any reasons why, and B, you can be real clear about what it is you're doing, why you're doing it, what you're supposed to be doing, and when you're supposed to be increasing that level of fitness to go to the next and the next and the next and the next, i.e. building a fitness level, i.e. going from unfit to fit. It's very bottom line, but I watched this guy jog, and I swear to God, I all but pulled over to stare at this man. He's got this cardiovascular band around his chest. He's got a heart rate monitor going on in his wrist. He was as big as a house. One extreme to the other, folks, morbid obesity or massively huge muscles. I mean, we're talking about extremes either way. I looked at this guy, and I thought, why do you need that very elaborate band wrapped around your chest beeping at you? And then I thought, he doesn't know what it means to work within your fitness level. Cardiovascularly, working within your fitness level. Tell me what you think muscularly, working within your fitness level means. You guys will clear it up. We'll make sure that everybody's perfectly clear about the definition, and you can get on with your workout. Sandra, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hey.
I just recently got that book, Make the Connection, by Oprah and her trainer, Bob Greene.
Right.
And he states that you're supposed to work at about 70% of your capability.
Okay.
And he calls it working in the zone.
Sandra? The target heart rate chart that is probably in that book and is on every aerobic studio in the country.
Right.
The target heart rate chart was designed for people who already have healthy resting heart rates.
Right.
Meaning you are not supposed to be unfit and working at a 70% zone.
Correct. He does make that statement.
Yeah, so in other words, that's only for people who are already fit.
Right.
We don't care about them.
Right.
90% of the planet is not fit here, and they don't know that they're not supposed to be working within their 60 to 80% target heart rate. Anybody that gives out that information is archaic. Are you fit?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so let's say that somebody who's unfit really wants to start in fitness, and they come to you and they say, what should I be doing? And we tell them, like that book does, that they should be in their 70% zone. You know what's going to happen? They're going to get up and they're going to go for a walk or a run, and they're going to be sucking wind so badly because they're not fit enough to be working at a 70% zone, target heart rate of any kind,
right.
And they're probably never going to do it again.
Right.
You see how it sets...
He does say to start out slowly and work into it to where you're feeling better and better every day, and not to overdo it.
Well, let's talk about slowly. The second thing about starting out slowly, does that mean if I'm unfit that I start out, what does slowly mean? So I should do it 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day?
I would say that probably 20 to 40 minutes.
And what does slowly mean?
I I'm thinking walking. Start out at a good clip pace walk, if you can.
Okay, now what happens if I can't? I'm 260 pounds, I was, and I can't. So now tell me what I should do.
Walk around your house until you poop out, and then do it again the next day.
Love you, Sandra. Love you. Do you see what people that are unfit are facing?
Yes, I do.
Do you see? Then this is what I said. I would have said to you at 260 pounds with the information from the quote-unquote experts that you get. I'm still loaded with questions. I'm still like, I don't know what to do. And that's why people aren't doing it, not because they're lazy.
Right.
It's an unbelievably interesting thing. So it's fair enough to say, I thank you, Sandra, it's fair enough to say that you should never work at 70% of your target heart rate unless you are already fit. If you're already fit, who cares? I mean, hopefully you know what you're doing then. We're talking about people who are unfit trying to get fit, working within your fitness level. What does that mean? Here are the facts. Write it down if you're interested. When it comes to the 60 to 80% target heart rate zone that everybody talks about, they are wrong. That target heart rate zone has only been designed for people with already healthy resting heart rates, meaning if you are not already fit, do not work at that level. So then the huge question is, then what do I do? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Working within your fitness level, what your target heart rate should be, how you should calculate it, how you know when your movement is effective, what movements are effective if you need to burn fat. Do you need one of those huge heart monitors wrapped around your chest? You call me and tell me. 1-888-55-SUSAN. That's 1-888-557-8726. Start with the fact. Target heart rate has only been designed for people with already healthy resting heart rates. That means they are already very fit. Healthy resting heart rate is you take your heart rate the minute you get up in the morning. That's when you know you're really fit. That's when you know you got a strong heart rate. That's when you know you're cardiovascularly in shape. That's when you know. Or, according to others, there are many other ways to find out if you, in fact, have. Here's another way. Walk up 3 steps. That's not 3 flights. 3 steps with a bag of groceries. If you're sucking wind on the 3rd step, you are not cardiovascularly in shape. Have, God forbid, your baby fall on the tricycle and you run to try and get them, 3 feet, and you're sucking wind at the end of that little jaunt. You know you're not cardiovascularly in shape. Another way to know that you are cardiovascularly not in shape, the best way, is if you suck wind doing minimum activity. When you are out of breath, that means your heart-lung capacity is minimum. That means that your heart-lung system is not strong. That means that you are not processing oxygen properly, efficiently, well. That means that you haven't built the muscle, heart, bicep muscle, to make it strong. So why would you expect it to be strong? We're going to break down this confusion. You will understand it by the end of this show. We're talking about working within your fitness level and what that means to you so that your workouts can be effective, so that we can get rid of all the experts' confusion, because they're there to make it very confusing for you so that you continue to need them, you see, because if you don't need them, then they would be out of business. Well, I'm here to tell you, not true. So far, we got work within the 70% zone. That comes from Oprah's trainer. That only applies if you are already healthy. So that leaves out half the planet. We're not talking about people who are already healthy. The target heart rate that is in every aerobic studio in the country is wrong if you are unfit. It only applies to people who are already very healthy. So blow that out of the water. Forget the 60 to 80% target heart rate zone. Do you need the heart monitor wrapped around your chest? Do you need the special instruments telling me that you are in your fitness level? Would you know it even if it was beeping, what it means? Even if you got the most expensive equipment under the sun and you wrapped it around your chest like this guy did this weekend that I'm watching, and you went for a walk, would you even understand what you're supposed to be doing? If you don't understand it, you're never, ever going to do it. My bet is that if you understand it, you will be A, more likely to do it, B, you will be able to continue it because you'll understand what it is you're doing and what it is you're supposed to do next. So let's talk about it, shall we? Call me at 1-888-55-SUSAN, and we are going to talk about target heart rate because, believe it or not, it's a bloody fascinating subject. Amy, you're on the air.
Hi, Susan.
Hey, Amy.
I was telling Mike that when I walk, I wear headphones if I'm walking by myself.
Right.
And if I can't sing along with the song in my head, I feel that I'm going too fast.
Bravo.
Is that right?
Bravo. Well, it's great because here's what it means. If you can't sing or talk, that usually means that you're out of breath.
Right.
And if you're out of breath, you are not working within your fitness level. So here's my next question, because you are going to be the experts on this show, and by the end of it, you will be. What do you do when that happens?
I slow my pace, and I take deeper breaths to I guess, get more oxygen.
Okay, slowing the breath is right. You slow your pace. And you know why you're slowing your pace, Amy? Because you are slowing down your fitness exertion. You are slowing down your fitness pace for a reason. Because you want to stay within your cardiovascular current level. And that means the second you're out of breath, you're not in it. So you slow down so that you get back into breath. And you want to walk for that 35, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever you do. And you want to keep the movement going so that you build the strength of your heart muscle within that level. And then eventually you build it and you can go to another level. And the way you can increase levels is A, picking up the pace, or B, activating different muscles. Like if you walk around whatever and you run the stadium steps, you're activating different muscles, which will also increase cardio activity, which you'll know it because you'll start sucking wind.
Right.
So bravo, Amy. What does working within your fitness level mean? Well, let's just chat about it, shall we, Megan? Megan, you're on the air.
Hi, Susan.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
Real good.
Good. I have a question. If I'm working out, I notice that when I do my cardio once a day, I'm planning to do an hour. And some people give me flack about it, saying that it's not helping me if a half an hour is just the same as an hour.
Here's the deal. There are two thoughts, aerobic thoughts. One is the standard that's been around forever, which is you have to move in oxygen for 30 minutes or more. So before 30 minutes, it ain't aerobic, okay?
Right.
That's the one thought. The new thought, which I have publicly stood up against, is that better now that we can do 3 sessions of aerobic, 10-minute aerobic a day, and that does just as much good as a half an hour. Here's my thinking on that. If people can't find a half an hour to get their sweats on and go for a walk or go to a class once a day, how are they going to find 10 minutes? Because you still have to go through all the rigmarole of getting in the clothes or getting in the car or whatever. How are they going to do it 3 times a day? They're not. So let's just stay with the half an hour, okay? Any movement for a half an hour or more in oxygen is the definition of aerobic. So if you are out of oxygen, you are not aerobic. So the goal is first, stay in oxygen. Second, if you want to move for an hour, that's a fine workout. But if you are moving for an hour out of your fitness level, then you're not doing much good.
Okay.
So the most important thing is not how long, it is how correctly. If you are moving in oxygen for 35 or 40 minutes, that is a very good aerobic session. Then if you wanted to add 20 minutes of weight training, upper body, lower body, abdominal, whatever your gig is, you do 30 minutes, 35 minutes of aerobic, you do 25 minutes of weight training, and 5 minutes you cool down. That is a wonderful exercise session. But again, if you're doing it out of oxygen, you ain't doing much good. So the most important thing is that you are working within your fitness level. The second is that you're moving for more than a half hour or more. And then for the rest, you want to go for 45 minutes, fine. You want to go for an hour, okay, bravo. But to go for an hour and a half, 2 hours, forget about it. That ain't where it's at. Well, it's not too much. Anybody that needs to work out more than an hour a day needs to get a life. I mean, unless you're training for, the Olympics. I mean, you don't need more if you do it efficiently and properly.
One more question. If you're doing weights,
Yep.
does that burn fat at all?
Here's the deal with weights, okay? Write this down because you need to know this. Lean muscle mass is metabolically the most active tissue in the body. Okay, here's what that means. Active tissue is fuel-burning tissue. One of the fuels it burns is fat. So if you build lean muscle mass, yes, you will burn fat more efficiently. You never have to worry about getting bulky. It takes hundreds of pounds and usually steroids to get that hideous look that's on the cover of Fitness Bikini magazine. So you never have to worry. You're not going to get bulky. You need to build upper body and lower body lean muscle mass because metabolically it's the most active tissue in the body. So if you have active, healthy, blood pumping through it, wonderful muscle tissue, don't you think that will do a lot to support wellness?
Yes.
It absolutely also does a lot to burn fat. Go, Megan, go. Now she knows. Now she can do it. See, people are confused. And my question is, why are they confused with so many bloody idiots out there claiming to be experts? It's because the experts keep you confused because they make it so complicated. Work within your 70% target heart rate. That is incorrect because what needs to be very clear is that target heart rate chart, the 60 to 80% chart, is only designed for people with healthy resting heart rate. So if you are not very physically well, do not work in your 60% target heart rate. So that's one myth cleared up. Sarah, you're on the air.
Yes, hi.
Hey, Sarah.
I love your show, first of all. I listen to you every day, and I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you appreciating it, Sarah.
Okay, I'm 2 weeks after a baby. How in the world do I get started getting back on my feet and getting into the fitness world?
Okay, first, is this your first baby?
No, it's not.
Okay, how many?
This is my 5th.
Your 5th?
Yep.
Oh, good for you. 5 kids, I mean, that's unusual, Sarah.
Yeah.
Geez, that's a lot of kids. Okay, here's what you do. Since you've had 4 others, you know that there is a process of pregnancy, i.e. 9 months, and you know there's a process of postpartum, right?
Right.
Are you nursing the baby?
Yes, I am.
Okay, fabulous. Thank God. Your body is now making food for a human being. And that takes a lot of calories. You have to take in high quality calories. You know, you have to drink a lot of fluid. So your body is very busy right now doing a job that's far more important than looking great. It is making food for another human being. 2 weeks after a baby, what you do is you realize that fitness takes on a new meaning. It takes on oxygen. It takes on a meaning of strength and wellness so that your body can do 10 times the work of other human beings because you're feeding a baby and you've got 4 other children. God bless you. And that there is no work that's harder than that or more demanding or more exhausting. So what you do is you give yourself the highest quality fuel, i.e. great, whole, real, low-fat, good food so that your body has the nutrients and vitamins it needs to live, and then you give your body a little strength. You also take maybe a half hour if you can get away. With 5 kids, it's very tough, just to get some peace of mind. To breathe, to get strength. You don't do it to get back into a size 6 pair of blue jeans. That's the wrong motivation. The motivation has a lot to do with whether or not a goal is successful. It has to be understood. It has to be committed to. If you don't understand the motivation, it's hard to commit to something when you're not even clear about what it is. So we're getting into the psychology of it. We're getting into the physiology of it. We're getting into the facts behind working within your fitness level and making your workout successful and effective.
This is the end of Side 1. Please fast forward and begin listening to Side 2.